This question is very clearly testing punctuation, so we need to think about the punctuation rules. Those are things that need to be memorized, especially when we see the weird ones like colons and semicolons. So we got to think in those terms. Now, a semicolon is probably the easiest one to look at. It has a very clear rule. We've seen it on another question in this test already. We need to have a complete sentence both before and after the semicolon. So we read the sentence and we're thinking in terms of structure, okay? So what do we have? Living independently and demonstrating an intense work ethic. Well, that doesn't sound like a sentence, right? Who's living independently and demonstrating an intense work ethic, right? This whole thing is just an extra little clause. Compare that to what comes after. The Harvey girls became known as a transformative force in the American West. Well, that's a sentence, right? So if you would leave off all the part in pink, I could just say the green piece and I'd be fine. I could start with a capital letter, I'd end it with a period. That's a sentence, it's a complete thought with a subject and a verb. The Harvey girls became known, blah, blah, blah. The pink part is an addition. It's helpful, it's getting me information, but it's not grammatically its own sentence. There's really no action here. Or actually, now that I think about it, there's really no noun either, right? We're describing someone or something, and so those things need to be present for it to really be a sentence. And so that gets rid of choice A. We can't use a semicolon if we don't have a complete sentence at the beginning of this thing. That's also going to help us get rid of choice B, because in order to use a colon, we need a complete sentence before as well. We have more flexibility afterwards. We could have a sentence or we could just have a fragment, but before must be a sentence, so this fails that test. Now this is where it's a little weird. I think we could just hear that choice D is better. The real reason that C is wrong is that the and is kind of doing the same thing that the semicolon is doing. It's creating a situation where we'd expect there to be two complete sentences and it's just not there. So D is best, right? This is an extra clause. Commas are used to attach an extra clause. Living independently and demonstrating an intense work ethic, the Harvey girls became known as a transformative force in the American West. Perfect. One complete idea. We've got a little extra at the beginning, leading into the main idea. That's how you build a sentence. That's how you use a comma. And so if we memorize these grammar rules, then the weird punctuation marks that we're not familiar with will be easy to deal with because we have concrete things that we can do when we see them, things that we can test and apply those tests. They're very consistent on the SAT and it'll help you get rid of those choices and, then get the question right.